All right, you fantastic kiddos. We are going to turn this rectangle into a square. So I'm going to take my paper, I'm going to hold it with one hand, and I'm going to fold it with the other. One hand holds, the other folds. And I'm going to take this corner and fold it up to this edge until I get a nice point right here. I just want to make sure that this edge lines up, and then I can make a nice fold. See that nice sharp crease? I flattened it. And then you can see this edge right here. And if you want to, you can always use a pencil. You can draw right on that line. Boom. Or if you want to, if you're super lazy like I am sometimes, just take your scissors. You can cut that right off. So what we're doing is we're making a square piece of paper for this project, because we are going to take this square, we're going to divide it into 4 strips. Cut those strips, we're going to add our value, cut those strips of value, rearrange them. Let me just show you, it's easier. So take your square now, you're going to fold it in half, this away. Make sure you crease that fold. You want that sharp edge. And then you're going to hold it and you're going to fold it one more time. It's a little trickier because it's thicker. There. And if you need to pause it while you're doing this, go for it. I'm going to open it back up. And now on those fold lines is where I'm going to cut. Again, if it helps you to see the lines, you can use a pencil or a marker or a crayon, whatever you got, and you can draw on that crease line. Or if you can see the fold line, the crease, you can just go ahead and cut on that line that you see. So there's 1. There's 2. And a 3. All right, now that my paper strips are ready, let's get to the meat of this project, the value. So we are going to be working with color. We are looking at choosing to use only warm colors or only cool colors for this project. So I'm going to use crayons, and I recommend you use crayons for this project too. If you don't have crayons, you can use colored pencils. Those would work well too. You don't have either of those? Well, that's all right. Grab whatever you got. We can make it work. So I'm going to be doing cool colors for my art project. So I'm going to look at my cool color wheel. I know that purples, blues, and greens are all cool colors. So I'm going to look for purples, greens, and blues. There. Now I do have 4 color strips, so I need at least 4 colors. So here I've got a green, got a blue, got a light purple, maybe I'll throw in a darker purple. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you know what? I changed my mind because I just saw this beautiful, cool blue. So I'm going to change this out for the light purple there. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you with just 1 strip first, and then you'll understand what's going on. So we're using our cool colored crayons, or I am using cool colors. You might be using your warms. Who knows what you choose? And we're going to be working to create some value. So we're going to make this dark, and then we're going to lighten it up to go light. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to start coloring. I'm going to press down nice and firm on my paper, coloring this edge first. And I'm going to work on holding it with one hand and coloring it with the other. And you'll notice I am just going along the edge of one side of my paper. Now, this is going to be, and I pressed nice and dark, and I'm going over it again and again and again, making it darker. Now what we need to do is we need to lighten it up. Let me see if I have my value scale ready to go. No, I don't. That's okay. So it's nice and dark here. Now what I'm going to do is in this next part, I'm going to press a little bit lighter. Just a little bit of pressure. I'm only pressing a little bit. And you see how it makes it look lighter? I am beginning to create some value. So there we've got the darker and the lighter. And then underneath that light one, I'm going to go even lighter. I'm only pressing just a little bit. Just a little bit. This is a great way for you to practice your pressure. How hard do you press? Now, if you take a look, it doesn't look too different between this very light and this light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my crayon and I'm going to color a little bit more up here in this middle spot to make it look a little bit darker. There, it's a little bit of value. So dark, medium, light. And that is our value. We can even use the side of the crayon for this if we wanted to. So there is my first value scale. And I can do the same with my other colors. So here I've got my other blue, and I'm going to go nice and dark and hard along one edge. And then as I color from the dark edge over to this white edge, I'm going to lighten. I'm going to not press as hard. I'm not pressing as hard this time. And then I can even not press, like just barely brushing the paper with my crayon. Boom. There. It's a little tricky, but don't give up. Keep working through it. Make that dark, medium, and a light. Check that out. Now I've got 2 value scales done. Let's see what this purple is going to look like. So I'm going to press nice and hard with my other cool color that I chose. Remember, we're either doing cool colors or warm colors. It's up to you. Now there's my hard and dark. Now I'm going to lighten up, not pressing as hard. And I'm going to color a little bit more onto my strip. This time a little lighter. And then lightest of all. And if it doesn't turn out perfect, that's okay. Remember, this is practice. And if you need to, you can go a little darker here. Maybe press a little bit more into that mid value. There. And there we go. We got a nice dark, medium, light. All right, last one with the green. Let's see what this brings out. So we've got a nice hard and dark on one edge of our paper. Hard and dark on one edge. And then as you go, you want to lighten up. Don't press so hard. Light coloring. Light coloring makes a light value. Hard coloring makes a hard value. Okay? And you do want to make sure if you're coloring on a table that has stuff stuck to it like mine, I got all sorts of glue and stuff, it will pick up with your crayon, just like a crayon rubbing. And there we go. We've got a dark, medium, and a light. Now the cool thing, we're gonna take these little guys and we're gonna turn them into squares. So I'm gonna fold it in half, just like that. See how my edges line up? I'm gonna pinch it, pinch, pinch. Then I'm gonna fold it in half this way. Pinch, pinch, pinch. See how all my edges are lining up? And then you're gonna open it up. You're gonna cut those fold lines. I'm gonna open up this one. Sometimes it's easier to see the fold line on the back side where it's not colored. There. And now I've got my greens all set and ready. Oh boy, let's get the purples. I'm gonna cut these. All right, so I've got all of my value squares cut out. And here what I'd like to do is just show you how you can start composing your artwork. So you can take your squares and just kind of start laying them out where you think you might like them to go. I'm just playing around with them on this white paper here. Actually, it might be easier. I'll do it here. I'll do it on the white paper because you are eventually going to need to glue it down. I think it might look really zesty if you use a black paper. That would look really cool. So you can play around with putting your dark values together or maybe putting them up against the light values. Totally up to you how you want to do this. And this is the fun part. I mean, you could just kind of stick these squares all over anywhere you want. It's really up to you. And then I'm going to pop these in here. Maybe I'll do dark against dark. There. So it's kind of cool, like the really neat, it's almost like a little quilt that you can make. And once you're happy with your design, what you can do is break out your glue, whatever you have, glue stick, white glue. I've got my trusty old glue tub with my glue brush. So once you're happy with your design, what you can do is take your squares one at a time and glue them down. And I'll show you my end product when I am all done gluing. All right, so I finished gluing all of my squares of value down. I'm just going to take and use my scissors to cut off the extra because we did cut down our paper to a square, which means we're going to have some leftovers. So I'm going to cut this extra, this leftover off, and then boom! Wow, look at that. It's a beautiful, cool value quilt inspired by our artist. I love it. I hope you love yours. Can't wait to see if you chose to do either all warm or all cool colors for your value quilt.